Good evening, parents and Quarles community. I am the interim principal, Miss Mariette NG. I will be covering the rest of this school year for Arlene NG, who is on maternity leave, and will be back by August. I am here to support all of the Quarles community, parents, staff, and students throughout these next couple of weeks, especially during this reopening. I would like to ensure all the parents and community members on the call, that all of our faculty and the reopening committee staff on this call, as well as the district nurses, have been working to ensure that we have a safe and smooth reopening next week. I have been in the district for 4 years. I have worked 2 years at the high school and 2 years at the middle school, and I am here temporarily. I'm familiar with the district, and I'm here to support you while we navigate these, unprecedented times. Please know that as in any plan, we may need to make tweaks, and we will be informing the parents and guardians and community members if changes or when changes are made. Next slide. I'd like to introduce the supervisor of the Donald A. Quarles Early Childhood Center, Ms. Gina Idone.
Good evening, everyone. I'm very happy to be here tonight. My name is Gina Idone, and I'm a supervisor at Quarles. I've been here going on my 5th year. We're very happy to welcome back our students and provide a safe transition back. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to reach out. And thank you so much for joining us this evening.
And I'd like to introduce, some very special to me that I've also worked with at the middle school, the nurse, Miss Denise Lindano.
Yes, good evening, everybody. My name is Denise Lindano. I am one of 5 of the district nurses here. I'm actually the middle school nurse. Your nurse at the present time is also on maternity leave, and we are anxiously awaiting her rearrival in the beginning of May. But rest assured, the rest of us will be taking care of your children. And if there's any questions that come up, feel free to contact any of us.
Thank you, Ms. Lindano. And I'd like to introduce our preschool master teacher, Ms. Mitzi Sierra.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining us tonight.
And also our preschool intervention team specialist, Ms. Yolanda Salazar.
Welcome, parents. I'm excited to see you tonight with us, and I'm looking forward to seeing your children next week.
And our kindergarten reading specialist, Ms. Teresa Manziano.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining us. We look forward to welcome your students back to school next week.
Thank you. Okay, so let's get to the organization of how the cohorts work. Students will be divided into 3 cohorts, cohorts A, B, and C, and this is located in your child's or the student's Genesis parent portal. For example, if your child is in cohort A, your child will be attending school in person on Mondays and Tuesdays. This means that on Wednesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays, your child will participate in virtual learning. Wednesdays are cleaning and disinfecting days for all students. Our campus will be closed. If your child is, if you can go back, thank you. If your child is located in the group B, they will be virtual Monday, Tuesdays, and Wednesdays, and will participate in in-person learning on Thursdays and Fridays. Cohort C is fully virtual. Please remember that in-person school hours are from 8 a.m. to 12 p.m. And please note, students will not be permitted to attend school, in-person school, past 9 a.m. If your child attends school after 9 a.m., they must participate in virtual learning. The big question is, how is the cleaning and disinfecting of our rooms and school property? High impact areas will be cleaned and disinfected at high interval levels. If you see the image to the bottom right, That is a disinfecting spray that has been approved by our district. It's made up of germicidal agents, which means natural agents. And that is something that our cleaning staff will be using to spray on, for example, the doorknobs, the desks, the chairs, the highly transited areas on our campus. Hand sanitizers are placed in every room. It is also important to know, in case any child forgets their PPE or if gloves are needed, we do have gloves and masks if needed. There are also 2 hand sanitizers dispensers that have been placed in every building, taking into account the age of the kindergarten students and the height. So you will, and every hallway has 2 hand sanitizers dispensers. Next slide. What will your child need to be ready to participate in in-person learning? As a parent or guardian of a child attending the Donald A. Quarles School, it is important that the health questionnaire is filled out by 7 a.m. in order for your child to participate in in-person learning. Where can you find this form? The form can be found in the Genesis Parent Portal. Please note at the moment, for example, today on April 15th, you will not, or April 14th, pardon, you will not be able to see that form in Genesis. The form will go live the first day of in-person learning, which is April 19th. The technology office and Ms. Teresa DeVincent will send a letter to the parents with a sample of what the form will look like and steps to follow. You can fill out the Genesis health form using an iPhone, iPad, a phone, an iPad, or any electronic device. Any questions or issues, or any questions related to the health questionnaire, please contact the Quarles main office. This is a sample or a screenshot of the health questionnaire. For example, if 2 or more of the fields in this section are checked off, the child must be kept at home and the school will notify you for further instruction. For example, if the student has one of the following symptoms: chills, fever, a headache, sore throat, nausea, fatigue, congestion. If it is checked off that your child has 2 of these symptoms, they may not participate in in-person learning and will be flagged. Next slide. What occurs when a health form is not completed by 7 a.m.? If your child's health form is not completed at all, your child will be seated in a waiting room supervised by one of our staff members until the form is completed. The holding place will be in the cafeteria and students will be socially distanced, respecting the 6 feet apart. The cafeteria was organized in a way in which students will see color cards and X's where they won't be able to see. This is to respect the social distancing guidelines by the CDC. A parent or guardian will be called by a staff member to remind the parents to complete the health questionnaire in Genesis. Please note, it is extremely important. If your child is sick, they should stay home for the safety of our students and staff of the Quarles building. Visitors. Due to the COVID-19 pandemic, visitors will not be allowed in any of the Englewood Public School District buildings. If you need to make an appointment with one of your child's teachers, specialists, an administrator, or any personnel or school counselor, you may be able to still meet with any of the staff members through a video conference, such as using Teams or Zoom. Please contact the staff member or the main office to ensure a team meeting time and format that works best for you. If you choose to pick a video conference or phone calls. And while at this level, we love visitors to participate in our usual traditions of field trips, we do still encourage families to participate in virtual field trips, our virtual guest readers, and virtual family projects. Face coverings. All students are required to wear a face coverings, with the exception that masks would inhibit the student's health. Therefore, a medical note will be required for review by the school doctor. Please note that while on the playground, students are not required to keep their mask on. Masks will be placed in an open, breathable bag labeled with your child's name. A student's documented medical condition or disability as reflected in the IEP can exempt a student from wearing a face covering.
Ms. NG, if you could also just, or if I can just.
Oh, go ahead. Feel free to
interject.
hop in.
Well, with the mask wearing, we need to make sure that the children are wearing their masks when they're in school. And the only time they'll be taking that off is when they're having their snack, or as Ms. NG had stated, when they're outside on the playground. But that mask won't be removed until they are actually outside. So if your children have not been wearing their masks at all, or very little, they need to get used to wearing their masks for 4 hours. So I would suggest that tomorrow they wear the mask for 1 hour straight through without removing it. Then the following day on Friday, wear it for 2 hours, Saturday for 3 hours, and Sunday for 4 hours to try to get them used to wearing the masks while they're in school.
Thank you, Ms. Londano.
Arrivals. So we have 3 options for our arrivals. One is the bus for parents who are having their children take the bus. Our bus students will receive bus information. You probably are receiving it in the last couple of days. If you haven't, there are a lot of mailings that are going out every day. In this mailing, you'll see your routes, pickup, drop-off times. Buses are designated by color or letter, example, red, blue, or green bus. And our special education buses are A, B, and C. All our buses are provided by the First Student Bus Company and have ESS assistants riding the bus with our students. All students, parents, and guardians must be wearing a mask at time of pickup and drop-off. Even the students boarding the bus at the time must have their masks on. Please be very flexible with our pickup times, as traffic may cause delays, early arrivals at pickup locations. Plan on being at your stop earlier until the drivers become more familiar with the bus routes. This is really important because it's like looking back at the first day of school in September. We always have issues where the bus is learning the routes and has to make sure that they have the most updated routes. So our recommendation is to arrive at least 10 minutes before the scheduled time. And also for pickup and drop off, 10 minutes again, just to allow the flexibility of the drivers to understand the routes. And just understand we'll have some bumps as we go, but hopefully as we transition, things will become more clear for everybody. Option number 2 is our circular driveway. So you can drop your child off using the circular driveway. You will bring your car through the circular driveway and bring it all the way up. We have people and staff members that are directing traffic as you come in. All your masks must be worn by the parents, guardians, and the students. Please be very attentive of the directions that are given to you or being, as you come in, you'll be waved to. Our Quarles staff will be out there waving you. And when you get onto school grounds in the circular driveway, we want to make sure that you please put your car in park. Allow your child to unbuckle the seatbelt, and we'll have a staff member come over, open the door so your child can exit the vehicle. The staff member will walk your child to another adult and take them to their destination of where their classroom will meet to be picked up. Again, we just ask the traffic patterns in the circular driveway, please follow. And also remember to always pull up as far as you can. This will avoid any congestion in our circular driveway and along the cross street in front of Quarles. Please, it's very important. Parents, do not get out of your vehicle at all. Just make sure that you can unbuckle your child's seat, and our assistants and EPSD staff will help your child exit the car. Any staff member, as I said, will escort your child to the entrance markers. We will have signs located as you come in all over the campus. Arrival 3, our option 3 are workers, parents that walk their children to school every day. You will also be escorted with your child to the designated drop-off area of where their teacher and classroom is located. Our students and parents, again, please must wear masks as soon as they enter school property. Students will enter through 2 entryways by the main office. Signs will be posted based on building drop-off location. We will also make sure that all the COVID forms are signed. Again, if your child did not fill out the form, they will be escorted to the cafeteria, where we'll have somebody follow up with each parent. Thank you. If you can go to the next slide. Late arrivals. It's very important that your child arrive on time and be ready for instruction. Any late arrivals will be expected to wait outside the main office building. You will be greeted by our security officers. We will call the class assistant and they will come and walk up and pick your child up. You are required to wait with your child while that assistant comes to pick up your child. Parents and guardians will need to wait outside. As I said, the classroom student will arrive and pick up your student. Please be mindful that school starts at 8 a.m. Any late arrivals disrupt our instruction, classroom routines, particularly during this COVID pandemic. We have very specific routines in place. And with that, students arriving after 9 a.m. will not be permitted into the classrooms or our buildings. You will need to return home and attend class virtually that day. So it's very important that you arrive on time. Okay, who's doing meals? Do you want me to do meals? For meals, breakfast and lunch will be a grab and go for all students. They will be designated locations where parents can pick up meals. More information will follow from EPSD. For more information and questions on meals and pricing, free and reduced lunch, please contact Heather Waldron. And in regards to snack time, please make sure that your child has a light and healthy snack, provided utensils, a water bottle, and any other necessary items that they would need. Our water fountains will remain closed due to the COVID-19 pandemic. When eating, all children must be 6 feet apart behind desk shields in the classroom, or 6 feet apart outside. Full virtual students, meal pickups remain the same. Cohort A is Monday, grab and go at dismissal. Grab and go at dismissal will be a meal for Monday, lunch and breakfast. Tuesday, grab and go will be for Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, breakfast and lunch. For cohort B, Thursday, grab and go at dismissal will with a meal for Thursday, lunch and breakfast. Friday, grab and go will be for Friday, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. All meals will be prepackaged and sealed unless we are alerted about a food allergy. Our meal distribution will still be available to virtual students. The list of meal distribution sites for parents is still available on the EPSD website. So it's really important that you check your child's bag for their food every day.
What do students need to bring in their backpack? So they need to have a bottle of water because the water fountains are closed, a mask that they'll be wearing, and an additional mask in case they would be needing to change it, their folder, of course, their book bag, their iPad. It is very important that each night when the child comes home, their iPad is fully charged for the next school day. A complete set of extra clothes that will be staying at school. We ask that they have a shirt, pants, underwear, and socks. And this should all be in a Ziploc bag that is labeled with their name. A healthy snack for the day, And any workbooks, math workbooks that come home will need to come back the next day. Next slide. The schedule will look very much like it does now, with a few changes to the times. In the morning now, students who are virtual will have work on Seesaw prior to going live for the day. And that'll be while students in school are unpacking and doing hand washing and getting ready. At 8:25, that is when we will now begin the live instruction with the morning meeting. And that will go right into the reading workshop portion until 9:20. At 9:20, we'll have a break off of virtual students still doing their Seesaw work or meeting in small group with their teachers, while students who are in person are doing independent reading or different centers in the classroom. At 9:50, students will have snack and a bathroom break. We are hoping to have snack outdoors when weather permits. And this will have, if it is inclement weather, there will be a flip-flop so that not all the students are eating in the classroom at one time. Following snack, there will be live instruction of a period of writing workshop or science, and that will be for live and it'll be for virtual students and in person. And then that will have be following, that will be math, and that will be live instruction. And then following that at 10:50, students again will have asynchronous work if they're home, and if they're in school, they'll do small group centers for math lessons. Students will begin to pack up at 11:30, so this is where the schedule will be changing a little bit. They'll pack up and dismiss from the classrooms between 11:45 and 12 o'clock. Parent pickup will start at 12 and go till 12:15, and students' lunch will be later now since they'll be at home. They'll have lunch from 12:15 to 1:10, and the last period of the day, they will have their SEL work, their social studies work, or their live related arts class. Next. Next slide, please. The classroom setups. So we followed all CDC recommendations. They have desk shields. Tables are socially distanced for 3 feet in the classroom. All classrooms have built-in hand sanitizer and the BOE approved disinfectant and paper towels available. Each student will have an individual bin of materials in the classroom. There will be no sharing of materials, and assistants will be disinfecting the centers before they rotate. Students will need to carry their materials back and forth to school and home in the event of an unexpected closure. The interactive easel will be used to display information for the class, and students at home will be able to see the same thing that is being seen in the classroom. Only one person will be allowed into the bathroom area at a time, and the teachers will be maintaining a log of all bathroom usage. Bathroom facilities will be cleaned frequently. Snack time. Please pack a light and healthy snack for your child. We will be putting dots on the lawn every 6 feet so students will know where they are able to sit, and weather permitting, this will all take place outside on the lawns.
Technology device assistance. So we understand that sometimes we may have technological issues with, your child's EPSD device. So please make sure every night your child's device is charging and fully charged for the morning. Report the technology issue to your child's teacher directly. The teacher will submit any internal technology ticket in the school due. So there could be 3 problems and 3 ways to solve them. So level 1 issues can be addressed via phone, or B, level 2 issues will require remote access into the device. We have the capacity at EPSD to do that. Level 3 issues will require that the device be returned to the school for further action. You can also contact the main office if you're having issues with your borrowed device by calling 201-862-6115 or 201-862-6117. If your child needs an iPad, please send an email to mng@epsd.org. Or you can also contact the technology secretary, Megan Goldwire, at tsecretary@epsd.org, or even call 201-862-6199. So this is the dismissal for 12 p.m. Option 1, the bus. Parents can choose to have their children transported home by bus or picked up at school. Buses will start loading at 11:45 and depart approximately at 12 p.m. So they will exit the campus at 12 p.m. We ask that you closely follow the bus schedule and arrive promptly to your designated bus stop as assigned by first student. An authorized guardian must be present for pickup in order for the child to be released. Children who are not received by an authorized parent guardian children will be returned to Quarles School. The school will call you to pick up your child immediately. Please be flexible with pickup times, as traffic and inclement weather may cause delays or early arrivals at the assigned bus stop locations. And also, to echo what Ms. Idon said, please be flexible and patient during dismissal because they're still establishing the routes. Repeated actions of not having an authorized guardian present for bus pickup will result in a report to the Division of Child Protection and Permanency and Inglewood Police Department. So dismissal for 12 p.m. Option 2, parent guardian pickup. Parents can begin picking up their child at 12 p.m. and will be directed to the building pickup areas based on their classrooms. So this is the color codes that we were talking about. Do not arrive earlier than 12 p.m. because we have to wait for the buses to exit to pick up your child. This will be enforced by EPSD security. Signs will be posted throughout the campus and staff will be available to assist you regarding dismissal areas. Every student and parent must continue to wear a mask until they are in their car and on the Quarles campus. Note that the circular driveway will not be available during parent pickup, only after the buses have left and security allows entry. So park away from the circular driveway if you're walking to receive your child.
COVID cases and school closures. If your child tests positive for COVID-19, please notify the school immediately. The teacher, the nurse, and/or administrators. The nurse, along with the administrative team and the Englewood Health Department, will determine if a classroom, building, or school will need to quarantine and close. It is imperative that all COVID-19 cases be reported to the school to ensure the safety and health of our students and staff. Parents and guardians will notify the school by calling the school nurse to report if any of the following applies to a student. A student tests positive for COVID or is being tested or had contact with a person with COVID-19 illness. Before we begin with Denise's presentation, a portion of the presentation, I wanted to add also that there will be assigned seats in your child's classrooms. For example, that would be their assigned seat every Monday and Tuesday if they're in cohort A. If your child is in cohort B, they will have the same assigned seat in the class on Thursdays and Fridays. This is being done just in case that there is an exposure in the class. We can go back and see, do some contact tracing. So the teachers are working and have submitted their seating charts to the administrative team. Next slide. Nurse and isolation room. If a child becomes sick at school, the nurse will determine if a child will need to go home, stay at school, or if they will need to be in the isolated room. Please make sure that you or an authorized guardian are available in the event that the school will need to contact you. This part is extremely important. If your emergency contacts or your phone numbers have changed, please contact the main office immediately. Students placed in the designated area or isolated area are supervised by an authorized staff members if a student displays any of the COVID-19 related symptoms. Please contact the school, I can't stress it anymore, if your telephone number has changed. I also would like to add that if your address has changed, that it's very important that you contact the registration department, as important mailings are going out this week for busing.
Okay. All right, welcome everybody. You can switch the slide. All right, so I had introduced myself earlier. I'm Denise Landano. I'm the middle school nurse. Here on the slide, you'll see all the contact information for all the nurses in the district. And again, your nurse will be coming back in the beginning of May. And like I said, we're anxiously waiting her arrival. Okay, you can switch the slide. All right, as it was stated earlier, your primary responsibility is to contact the school, contact us, and let us know if your child has been exposed or is positive for COVID-19. When you do the form in the morning by 7 a.m., when you access the Genesis parent portal, the pop-up box will come and you won't be able to access anything else on the screen within Genesis unless the form is complete. And then once you activate that form, and if you should check that your student has any of the symptoms that are COVID related, it will automatically flag your students and it will tell you that you must contact us and that you must keep your child home from school. Contact tracing will be initiated, hence there will be the seating, specific seating in the classrooms, as well as on the bus. Because if your student is positive and has been on the bus, then we will have to contact trace everybody that's on the bus as well. Quarantine and isolation timelines are based on the current CDC, New Jersey Department of Health, and the Englewood Health Department assistance. And as of right now, if anybody has traveled over holiday and over break, and you have traveled outside New York, New Jersey, Connecticut, or Pennsylvania, you must contact us tomorrow, and we will let you know as to the date when your child can physically come to in-person instruction, because there is a minimum 14-day quarantine period since the travel was outside those 4 states. Next slide, please. So not everybody will show symptoms until maybe 5 days of exposure. Sometimes it's even later than that. If your child is sent home from school, we are asking that you immediately take that student and take them for a PCR test. We cannot accept rapid tests because sometimes we get some false negative results from those. So we ask that you take your child to get tested immediately and call your physician's office and let them know. And then we will need to know the results of that test. Based on the results, if the result is negative and the doctor will see your child, and if it is indeed negative and say your child suffers from allergies or asthma or has a sinus infection, we will just need a doctor's note to clear them to come back to school, as well as that negative PCR test. If the student is positive, then of course you will be isolating that student for 10 days from the date of the positive test. Currently, we are in the high risk orange range. And therefore, that's why we have to do the minimum 14-day quarantine period if your student has been in contact and exposed to someone with COVID-19. Okay, next slide. Everybody must have received this flow sheet. It's something that the nurses put together. Basically, the boxes in blue are the 3 questions you're going to ask yourself before you decide to send your child to school. So if any of these are answered yes, your child should stay home. And it's pretty self-explanatory, but if you have any questions, you can feel free to give me or any of the nurses a call tomorrow, and we will gladly review anything with you. But these are the 3 questions that you should ask. If your child suffers from asthma and hasn't been feeling well, and you have to give a nebulizer treatment during the night, please do not send your student to school. Nebulizer treatments, unfortunately, we are unable to give them during the pandemic as per the Academy of Pediatrics, the CDC. And there's no way around that. We can give the inhaler if your student is able to use an inhaler with a spacer, that can be administered. If any other student has issues with diabetes, seizures, ADHD, any other medication that's warranted, we can give those medications, but you need to find the form on the website, the health office website. And even if you didn't go to the Quarles one, you could go to any of the schools, all the medication forms, the physical forms, anything that you might need, you'll find there. You can just print that out, bring it to your doctor's office and have them complete it. If your student needs medications held in the nurse's office, then you'll just have to supply us with those medications and the orders from the physician. And next slide. So we just ask that you're honest, and that it's very difficult after a year of keeping your children home. You have probably found out how difficult virtual learning is. And we really want to have them all come to school, but if their noses are running and they're coughing and they're not well, they're not perfect, please keep them home. We encourage them to wear their mask, to get used to being in school. And when you're out and about, wear your mask, practice social distancing, get them to learn to wash their hands as much as they can. Soap and water is of course the best, but alcohol-based hand sanitizer will work. Disinfect any high touch surfaces that you have, even at home, doorknobs, desks, pencils, pens, anything that they're using. And please try not to allow them to share items with other individuals outside your family. Next slide. These are just some resources for you. If you're interested in learning any more information, you can access any of these. Okay, next slide. And Ms. NG, I guess this is for you then.
So we would thank you, Ms. Lindano, and everyone that presented. If you could just parents or anyone on the call, if you have any questions, please make sure to type it in the chat box.
You have a question, Ms. NG. Does my child need to bring their own sanitizer?
They can bring their own sanitizer, but yet we will have hand sanitizers in the classroom as well. Along the hallways as well, we will have 2 stationed in addition to the classroom one. You should be receiving the bus information before Monday. If by 12 o'clock on Friday you have not received the bus information, please contact the main office at 201-862-6115 and 201-862-6117. And Yolanda, correct me if I'm just missed the number.
No, that's the correct number. If you also want information, some parents are asking what color code is their pickup area. You can call our schools tomorrow too. and we will let you know depending on where your child classroom is located. We will let you know what number. We have 3 colors in our school: green, yellow, and red.
Oh, why is the duration 8 to 12? As per the Department of Education, it's a 4-hour day across the district. For example, I know the high school starts at 8:30 and dismisses at 12:30. Our schedule is 8 to 12, and it is the schedule that was approved by our current interim superintendent, Dr. Belandi. We do understand that it is a difficult time since there are many working parents, which is also the reason why we still kept it open of having a virtual cohort. So we understand the frustration, yet we're excited to even open up our campus and offer in-person learning.
People are also asking for a copy of the schedule. Please understand that this is just example, and your teacher will provide you with a schedule that is more accurate and reflective of their classroom activities on Monday or on Thursday.
And also the information and schedule with the introduction letter was sent on Saturday through an email blast by Naomi Morton, who is in charge of that for our district. Also, Daichi, I know if you're on the call, if you can just please go to the EPSD website, and maybe I can walk parents through where to find this information with all of the resources that were sent.
Okay, hold on just one second.
And while Daichi, thank you so much. I appreciate your help.
Sure, no problem.
If someone wants to change to all virtual, please just contact the main office or one of us on the call, and we will make the change.
For their teacher as well. They can,
Mhm.
their teacher.
There's a question here that my kids use a full face shield when they're out in public. Will that be okay for school? No, they must wear masks when they're in school. And it must cover their nose and their mouth.
How do I get the information to log into Genesis? If you do not remember your information, username or password, you can contact me. If you already have a username in Genesis and just need to reset your password, you can send me an email to mng@epsd.org. If you do not have a parent portal username and password created, please contact Teresa DeVincent, who's in charge of the Genesis system for our school district.
Somebody's also asking about aftercare. Unfortunately, we are not providing childcare after school during the reopening. We are planning for next year in September, but as of now, we are not providing extended childcare or after school program.
The question, can a face shield be worn if the child is not able to stay in a mask all day? We would need a specific physician's order as to why the child cannot wear the mask.
And I know there's a comment on opening as, late as this time being, and it's knowing that social interaction is really important at this age level, whether it's pre-K and kindergarten. And Englewood was in the red, and now we are in the orange. And the interim superintendent wanted to provide all of our students in the district that opportunity to come into in-person learning, as most of the districts around the area are open as well.
There's another question.
So how will the interaction with them, with students be and full participation with activities for remote students? So Teresa, if you want to explain.
Sure. So students in the classroom will be able to see their virtual peers through the teacher's interactive easel. And during a whole group lesson, students will also have access to their iPads on their desks so that they'll be able to interact while they're in the classroom, and also with the students who are virtual, as well as with the teacher.
Somebody asked why open the school if it's almost over. So our superintendent has been provided the okay that we move forward to offer our classes to everyone to help transition those back to our school and in-person learning. It's a very personal decision on the parents to decide what they want to do. So you really just have to make the best decision for you and your family. As Ms. NG said, and I think all of us, it is very difficult. They are only here for 4 hours, but they will be able to transition back to some in-person learning, and we're able to provide that to them. As we did mention, Englewood's numbers are in orange, I believe, Donna, right? You said, and they are high at the moment, and we will continue to monitor them, but we do want to offer all of our Englewood residents an opportunity where we feel it's safe now to be able to return back to in-person learning and give you the option of the hybrid process. So again, this is a very personal decision for you at this current time. And we will do the best to answer any questions that you have and make sure that your child is as safe as possible. Please, if you have any additional questions, please don't hesitate to reach out to us so that we can answer them for you.
So there's a question here. Will they be allowed to play with their friends during recess since they will be able to take off their mask? So pre-K does have a gross motor period built into their schedule because in their curriculum, it is a crucial part of the day. Kindergarten, they have gym, and gym will be offered in that afternoon period once the students are home. So at this time, there will be no recess for kindergarten.
So we have wishful thinking. How smoothly do you think dismissal will flow? I am going during my work break to get my child.
As we mentioned, this is the first time for all of us, right? On the call, reopening after being closed for a year, and following new procedures to ensure the safety of everyone, the students and our staff. It may take a little longer. It's definitely going to take a little longer the first week or two until all of us, including the staff, gets into the swing of things and the rhythm. We can give you more or less an idea, I would say, after 2 weeks, and then the team will revisit and say, this is not working. As I mentioned before in the presentation, this is what we call a living document, right? It's not perfect. It's a plan that we think would be best in doing our research around what other schools are doing and following the recommendations of the CDC. If we find that there's something in the dismissal procedure or the arrival procedure that's not working, we will make that change. Right now, we don't have an exact answer for you, but we do ask that, the first 2 weeks, it may take a little longer than usual.
And Ms. NG, I just want to add too, we are opening for the first time, just like we do every year. And every year, the first week to 2 weeks, the buses and everyone is getting their schedules down. So it's always a transitional period, regardless. So we will have to, be able to figure out our bumps and hiccups and be able to have and ensure a smoother process. So I hope that helps you with your question.
Okay, at this moment, we no longer have any open questions. We would like to thank everyone on the call for participating in the Donald A. Quarles Early Childhood Center reopening plan presentation. I would also like to thank all of the presenters tonight and the reopening committee that has worked many, many hours in creating a plan to ensure that our students and families feel safe in bringing back our children after a year of being closed. I'd also like to thank Mr. Daichi Kono, who is the person that's managing our presentation behind the scenes, and parents and family members and Quarles community. If you have any questions, please reach out to any of us on this call and to your child's teacher. Have a great evening. We will post these presentations. And before we go, thanks Daichi for pulling it up. I will show you where you can find all of these resources, your schedule, the parent letter that went out at the EPSD website. So Daichi, if we go under sites, I believe, is it sites? And we click on DA Quarles Early Childhood Center. Parents, please follow and take notes. Once you under sites and you select the Donald A. Quarles Early Childhood Center, you are going to look on your left and ensure it is the correct school. If let's say Spanish is a better language, you can switch to Spanish under the English tab. We don't have to switch it right now though, Daichi. And please click menu. Under menu, you're going to see that there's a tab or a label that says school information. And under that, the first tab says hybrid learning, school reopening. Please click on that. Here you will find the district reopening information, the kindergarten hybrid schedule. Remember, as we mentioned, this is a sample schedule, the pre-K hybrid schedule, the letter that was sent out to parents in English and Spanish, the letter from the school nurse as well, and the arrival procedures. Any information that is sent to parents, we will continue to update using this link. So once again, parents, thank you for attending our session and have a great evening.